Hello Marvel Strike Force fans. Welcome back to another episode of War Review. Before we start, I'd like to say to all the filthy casuals out there, Happy Mother's Day in Mexico, Guatemala, and El Salvador. You were not forgotten. And while you spend your Mother's Day hushing your kids so you can play on the phone, we'd like to go over some of these attacks. Hopefully we can learn from something. Hopefully you didn't do one of these attacks. Alrighty, so starting off here, we have NikoDyz, who used a power armor team to punch across, but this was a strange team to me. Okay, so I guess he removed Punisher and Daredevil for certain teams, right? I don't know, guys. I mean, if you're gonna run her, you need to have America Chavez. Like, you just need to. It's like the law. And Squirrel Girl's actually pretty good. Like, I would have dropped him for Squirrel Girl. And, like, look at these ISOs. Like, why does he have Stryker? Why does your Luke Cage... Maybe this guy just watched the show and was like, oh, he's trolling the show, which he is. But, yeah, so don't do this. And NikoDyz, put some love into your rescue. Basically, this team is very fragile. You don't want any one of them to die, except for him. He can die, it doesn't matter. Right? But, like, you don't want any of them to die because, you know, you might not win. So, hopefully she died after she did her one use and you won. Hopefully. And then Pita Chip, our fearless leader. Power Armor Ultimus against the Doc Ock team. Mind you, it's a bit of a peasant one because it doesn't have Swarm or Electro, but this is still a good win nonetheless. And she didn't even need to G14 him, so good job. And NikoDyz again. So the reason I'm showing this team, I mean, for one, I haven't seen Ultimus on a defense team with the Mercs for a long time. He was being touted as the meta for a while, and then he just kind of got forgotten. As far as this defense, it's not bad. I mean, he is an extreme weak link, something to consider. But the reason that mostly the reason I'm showing this team is that you see how these two ladies carry the team? That with these being weak, I mean, you basically want her to live to keep reviving him. And she gives evades to people, right? But it's these two ladies that do the damage, and they did the damage, so good job. Oh, what's this? Our hero? No, I'm just showing you a very simple way to take out these BIM tech teams. You have two villain techs here. His special will almost always kill her in one hit, and it doesn't miss, so yeah, it's almost cheating. I know a lot of people are running them on defense, but if you're still using them for offense, that's a very good target. Look, 100k punch up. Nothing legendary, but just a simple win. But Commander Lala, wow, look at that. Almost a 200k punch up on one of the best defense teams in the game. This one is no slouch. Everyone is like G14 except for these two that are 15. The Red Stars are pretty good too. I mean, this isn't a joke. This guy here. And if you look at this team, G15, G14, not in any way trying to slight you, Lala. I'm just pointing out that they're not the most balanced team. But to me, this is an effective use of resources where you're able to use much less resources to punch up against this team. So yeah, very good job. If you see this, that you need her built up for heals, and you need her to basically do all the damage. Fruit Batman helps out too, but she's the MVP for sure. And Mr. Free-to-Play himself. So this is a punch down. So I wouldn't necessarily tout this, but you consider who he went up against. Again, weak link, right? When you have a team like that, it kind of makes it a little easier. But I mean, G15, 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 and like these guys are scary. So yeah, good job holding it together. Black Order isn't quite the put it on auto and walk away as it used to be, but you can still get some good use if you play smart. And our hero again, going after all the Pimtechs. Brotherhood 2 is getting a bit of a renaissance. I mean, we've been able to use them against Nick Fury Coulson for the longest time. They were effective against Avengers until everybody started T4ing Black Widow Special, which gets rid of debuffs. They're still working against Nick Fury Inhumans. And if anyone's silly enough to put symbiotes on defense, which you shouldn't, you know, I've done over 250k punch-ups with this team. No G13 by accident, right? So nice to see that they're getting some use. This is just over 100k punch-up, right? She was the scary one, because the rest just kind of melt. So yeah, good use of old materials that I built up a long time ago. And Frank. 100k punch up with this team. Like I'm telling you guys, just make sure you get the stun on him and you're gonna win every time. All right, I had to look at this like 3 times. So this is over a 200k punch up. He's got the newest team that's incomplete and managed to use Namor. So yeah, Namor, he is useless in every other game mode except for War. In War, he's actually very plug and play. So yeah, good use of Namor here. And he was able to punch up against an exceptionally big team. Their Strife is a bit of a weak link, but look at how much healing this team is going to get with just these two characters. So yeah, well played, sir. And again, our hero. Normally I wouldn't show something like this, but what got me was 7R G15 level 5 ISO Doc Ock. Yeah, like I said, get the stun. So her stun actually failed on him, but with offense up from Beast, I was able to get a stun with Bobby. Considering the size difference, that was very lucky. And I was doing like 3k damage per hit. I was like, please die, please die, please die. Finally killed him before he got to do anything. So that was nice. Commander Lala again. What I liked about this attack is how close he won. So yeah, Philosopher showed this on his channel. It's a very good video. And yeah, it does work very well, right? And he just barely won. I think instead of this ISO, maybe you could just put a little bit of love into him. Give him something, you know, he's actually a pretty heavy hitter. But yeah, that was a good solid win on this team. And Frank, similar concept, except it was all Zemo. It was all Zemo. He may as well just sent him by himself. I mean, they took a few hits. They tanked a few hits. So yeah, good use of resources. If any of you are sitting on the fence about Zemo, you will get use out of him in basically every game mode. Maybe not Arena. Some people are using him on Arena depending on your red stars. Oh, look at this, back to back. These are defense though. This just absolutely blew my mind. I looked here first and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, he's not overly built up. He's barely doing any healing. You know, I can see that they lost and that she lived. Okay, that happens all the time. Then I looked at this team and I was like, how did this win? Like, this shouldn't have won. Like, he doesn't do any damage. Like, I mean, look how much resources this guy invested in this team. And if you look at his ISOs, like, he's done the ISOs. I agree with him entirely. So I don't know what happened here. I have no idea. Maybe I guess she must have stealthed herself and then he just couldn't break the stealth. And so then, of course, his buddy, I thought it was him because, you know, they're both red, but his buddy is like, I got your back, man. So assembled the greatest team of leftovers. I don't understand what teams he's running that makes these, like... Did you really not have a better home for Invisible Woman? Okay, I guess if he's using like Nick Fury, Inhumanes, and he doesn't have Quake on that team, right? So he just tossed her in. Maybe he doesn't have Shadowlands. Not everyone's running Shadowlands, guys. Let's not be judgmental. And like, okay, I guess he's not using BKT because, I mean, who's going to take out their BO team to run BKT? Even with the Vision variant, it's not going to hold up in this meta. But why did he G14 her? And why did he 13 the rest of them for that matter? I mean, anyway... I don't know what in this team he thought was going to win against my 7-star, 6R, G15 Hela. Like, none of them do any damage, just him. He's got that nice special that'll hopefully do damage, but that's it, right? And yeah, you gotta really think, especially with a character like this, that it's every time she used her basic, she killed Greg. Same with him. So you're running situations where they're feeding her health and there's nobody to put heal block. So think about that before you do a mop-up team. I know it's hard because you don't want to use a full team to take out one person if you can avoid it. But when you just throw in an attack like that, well, you may as well have, right? Because you just wasted an attack. Oh yeah, they did get her in the end. Look at that. They used launch meta to win. But you know what? That's an effective use of their defenders. Normally I would like praise this kind of thing, except it's like he G13 3 of them and 14 2 of them. Him, it's excusable, right? Because a lot of the content creators were pushing, oh yeah, you need him for Dark Dimension. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, he sucks. But you know, Dark Dimension 4, you can bring him. Oh yeah, he sucks too. Like, anyway. But why did he G14 his Iron Fist? I got a 6R Iron Fist and I wouldn't have G14. Now he's going to be laughing with Heroes for Hire. Yeah, he's going to be like, this guy is going to get lots of wins. But like all this time, he could have used his resources and other teams to help him out. Maybe they would have won this war. All right, Undertaker. So he got attacked. This is 130k punch up. Remember what I said about this team? The issue with this team is you don't want Sinister to clone Black Bolt, Yo-Yo, or Ultron. And I know some of you are sitting here and saying like, well, you know, Black Bolt is all like stats. So when he clones him, he's not going to do that much damage. Yeah, trust me, he's going to ruin your day. When he uses that ult, these two are probably dead, right? Moreover, you got an Ultron on your team, you don't want that team to have a Black Bolt. You don't want him using his ult, wiping out all your bots, or like him singling out Ultron to use his special on and killing him right off the bat, and then he can't revive. Like, so yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Ultron teams against these Emma Marauder teams are very commonplace, right? Paulo actually did a really good video where it was like an hour, and they went over every single variation, and they agreed that First Wave Avengers plus Ultron was the best one to do it. I personally like to use X-Men plus Ultron, because I guarantee it's only going to be Phoenix, and I can work around that because I've dealt with that 100 times. But yeah, keep that in mind before you do your attacks. So after this one failed, at least this guy canceled, decides, okay, well, I'll just bring in my completely lopsided, like, I'm guessing that he G15 her for Dark Dimension, but like when the rest of them are so lopsided, you can't be thinking about doing almost 300k punch-ups. It's not going to work. Like, and he didn't even cancel. I guess he put on auto, thought he'd come back and win, and, you know, did that shocked Pikachu face, like, Pika! Like when he saw that, you know, oh, it didn't win. It didn't even make a scratch on them. All right, so this team is pretty well built up. I mean, that Zemo was pretty scary. Punisher, it has a lot of damage, right? So you don't want to face one that built up, right? And same with Grenadier, actually. They pack a punch. But yeah, Power of Kestrel, Power of Silver Surfer. Look how small they are. Again, not trying to slight Undertaker. Because when you do something that deserves slighting, I will slight you, right? But you don't for this. I'm just showing the power of these characters against, I mean, this is a pretty meta team. I would have put someone else instead of Black Widow personally, right? But yeah, good win. So they kept trying for Undertaker's team. They kept trying. Came back for another one. Is this the same guy? Yeah, it is. So he came back, same team, and he killed their Strife. So good, sir. You wasted 2 attacks to take out 1 character. And then they cleaned up with Fantastic Four plus Silver Surfer. I kind of get the feeling that this team might have won in the first place. But alrighty. They're persistent. You got to give them that. Same team again. Managed to take them all out except for the King of the Inhumans. So, like, I know Pym sucks, but you need to have some respect for Ghost. Right? Because, like, this is, like, disrespect. As far as you can go to disrespecting characters in a game, in a phone game, this is disrespectful, right? To think that this team of chumps, I mean, like, okay, Captain Marvel is awesome, but he didn't max her out for some weird reason, right? He doesn't have America Chavez, which gives, like, a huge health bonus. Instead brought Spider-Man. I mean, they have a little bit of synergy, but you don't drop America Chavez, even if you don't have her built up. The fact that she gives the big health bonus, especially to someone like Captain Marvel who heals so much, right? Like the people that this team revolves around drains, right? So they do damage, they get health, right? So you give them the ability to have more health, you'll make them survive more. I don't, not that I think they would have won, but I'm just saying that, like, he didn't really bring anything to the team. And, like, if it was just her and he brought these 5, he still would have lost. Because every time they hit her, she's going to hit him back. And she's going to hit for a lot more than they're going to hit her. And so he tried again. And he learned from his mistake. Instead, he brought an even older meta. But he didn't bring Punisher, he brought Gamora. The secret 5th. You've seen it here first, gents. Gamora is the 5th defender. This is a spoiler. You guys were going to find out this was going to be part of the Mexican Mother's Day surprise. But yes, it is Gamora who is the 5th defender. And as a special treat for you, this is from my earlier days when I was a streamer. As you can see, this is gold 4. So not the elite of the elite by any stretch, but you would expect a certain amount of intelligence. BKT on defense, and we put together the secret meta: Black Bolt, Killmonger, Scream, Iron Man, and Wasp. As you can see, there's no ISO on Black Bolt, but he was brought up to G13. And so this team miraculously failed after taking out Rocket, so he came back for another one immediately after and brought Phoenix without ISOs, Ultron without ISOs, Doc Ock 5-star 3R with no ISOs, Yo-Yo, and Invisible Woman without ISOs. At least he put ISOs on Yo-Yo, even if it was a striker. And I don't like the amount of things that are wrong with this team. He could have brought Yo-Yo with Black Bolt, you know, they kind of work together, right? Instead, he paired her with another protector, so she doesn't get to do any of her, you know, offense down on anybody, which is the whole reason you bring Yo-Yo anywhere. And look, she didn't even turn Dark Phoenix. Yeah, it's painful. I'm pretty sure they won this war too. So yes, we're gonna call it there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. I will be doing this twice a week, in addition to Red Star openings and roster reviews, which I have one coming out this week. So if you enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe for more content, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a good night.